All right. All right. Bitcoiners, gold bugs, silver bugs, traders, investors, followers, supporters, haters, ill willers. Welcome. Everyone is welcome here. Whether you are tall, short, fat, skinny, in shape, out of shape, white, black, ugly, beautiful, rich, poor, all of you are welcome here. Come on in, make yourselves comfortable, grab the beverage of your choice. I'm waiting for some tea actually myself. Maybe even make sure you have something to take notes with. I think we're going to have a really dynamic talk here today. I decided to talk today about gold and Bitcoin, of course, which I'm always going to talk about, because I made a post today that for the most part triggered, I think, a lot of gold bugs. And I'm sure that many of these gold bugs have no idea that I was once an avid gold bug, probably more intense than they are, because I tend to do things intensely. I do not see the intensity that I typically have or had in gold from even the gold bugs that I see today. So I'm willing to bet that I was a more intense gold bug than most of them could ever dream of being. So I'm sure that many of them have no idea that I was a gold bug for many decades, and my father before me was a gold bug for decades. So I'm sure many of them don't have that background regarding me. So they think they're talking to someone who's just a Bitcoin head that has no concept or understanding of gold. But gold was a fundamental principle of my life. It was a fundamental principle of my family's life because of my father. And I was a gold bug for much of my adult life because I grew up in a gold bug's household. So I want to set that right up front, right before we even delve into this. But I made a post today that stated that gold is out here trading like a fart coin. And I did not make that post to disrespect gold because, in truth, people, I will be very honest with you. I still adore gold. I truly, even to this very day, despite being a 1000% Bitcoiner, I still regard gold as being very special. I regard gold as being one of the most special elements human beings have ever come in contact with. And I still maintain that stance. Now, I did, in all honesty, I sold all of my gold in 2020, late 2020, to put into Bitcoin. When I had what I considered to be somewhat of an epiphany that gold actually, being a gold bug for decades, prepared me to have. So I respect gold for having laid the groundwork for preparing me to see something that is better than what I consider itself to be, gold to be. And I don't see any dishonor in that. I don't see any dishonor in a senior citizen passing the mantle to the new generation. I don't see any dishonor in that. And I'm here to talk to you about today why I believe gold was the first attempt at what Bitcoin is going to take to the finish line. And I believe that gold is doing it honorably, the best it possibly can. And I think that all the warring and fighting factions between the people who think they understand these two things are displaying. But I believe that gold in its old age, gold in its senior citizen era, knows that its days are numbered, and that if we were to personify gold and silver in a way, gold would be kind, the kind grandfather, the kind great grandfather talking to the young grandson or great grandsons that it knows the future belongs to. I do not think if we were to personify these two items, that they would be warring against each other, that they would be fighting with each other. One is 5,000 years old, for Christ's sake, and one is 17 years old. One is more adapt to handle the challenges of a new digital code-based ethereal world, and the other is not. And the other, if we were to personify it, meaning gold, I believe gold, if we were to give it a personality, if we were to give it a soul, a personhood, it would recognize this and not fight that, but see it and help Bitcoin prepare for it. I believe that many of these bozos out here have been so indoctrinated by the elite's attempt to divide through sports, through music, through the political sphere, all of that's designed to divide us and to have us warring against each other because unity is power. And I do not believe that gold and Bitcoin, if they were to be personified and given a soul, that they would be doing that. They would understand one generation ignites and another generation follows. This is the way everything has unfolded in the human experience. One thing has never been forever, neither should it be. Do you guys understand what I'm saying so far? So let's talk about this. Let's talk about why gold has failed, but also I want to talk about why I will continue to appreciate gold and love it for what it is. Let's start off with my appreciation for gold. I want you all to understand that gold is amongst one of the most unique physical items that human beings have ever come in contact with. In fact, I'm willing to go as far as saying that gold is magical in a sense, that it possesses qualities that ignite something in the soul, that something deep within the human spirit stirs if you were to ever hold it. Now, I don't know if many of you have ever experienced this before, but if you were to put $500,000 of gold in the palm of your hands, you would understand what I'm trying to communicate to you. That something unique, something that I don't think words can properly capture, something would stir in the very bowels of your soul. And this makes this element or this collection of elements, this unique collection of elements, one of the most special things that humans have ever come in contact with. It is not by mistake or by chance or by happenstance that humans have somehow decided collectively to descend on gold as something of value. That can't just be chance. That can't just be happenstance. The entire world, every single human being, no. Gold is special in that regard. In fact, it's magical, and some might call it spiritual. In almost every religious sect, in every manuscript that supposed to touch upon the ethereal or God or the spiritual realm mentions gold in numerous times. Why? That can't be a mistake across cultures, across landscapes, across the infinity of time. No one, despite the fact that I'm out here rallying for Bitcoin, no one can ever make me think that gold does not have something universally special about it, almost divine. And that is a feeling, a belief I continue to maintain to this very day, despite being what some might consider to be a Bitcoin maximalist. So I want to set that straight. If you were to put $1 million, a pile of $100 bills and $1 million in a space, just pile up $1 million worth of $100 bills, and you put a few solid gold coins to the side of it, just a few solid gold coins. So you have this massive mound of paper dollars, $1 million worth. You just put a few couple of coins. Each coin is worth $4,700 or something like that in fiat terms. Just a few of them together. And you put a baby down on the floor that cannot walk but can crawl. Guess what innately they will crawl to 100% of the time. Guess. They don't know the value of dollars. They don't even know the value of gold. But something in their soul, something in their very makeup will have them go to the gold every single goddamn time. That's not by chance. That is something wired in our DNA to recognize how special this item is. So I wanted to start off by that because I know that my harsh rhetoric regarding a Bitcoin only stance is so strong and so uncompromising that some people lose sight of my true respect for gold. And I don't want that to happen. I respect it immensely and have probably respected it longer than some of these naysayers out here commenting on my post have even been alive, much less been a gold bug. So we'll start off with that first. Now, as special as I have always regarded gold to be, I have to be honest and see that in its old age, in its senior citizenry, it has failed the modern world. It served as a beacon of light in its highest state when it was a 20-year-old, a 50-year-old, a 30-year-old, but a 5,000-year-old senior citizen, it can no longer meet the evolving needs of a higher and higher conscious human being. Now, I use these words not by chance. I carefully select them. I choose them very carefully, people. A higher conscious human being. And I use these words specifically for a number of reasons, which I will explain in short order, because we are rising to a higher conscious state, despite the fact that sometimes the world in its outer projections do not show that, but we are. And whenever you move to a higher state, you go from the gross to the ethereal. You go from the solid to the you go from the material to the immaterial. You go from the gross to the sublime. You go from worshiping stones and statues of gods to worshiping a universal God that cannot be touched, seen, felt, or identified. As the consciousness of humans rise, we go from analog to digital to code. Code becomes more important than a rock. The rock belonged to the analog world. The stone representation of God belonged to the analog world. The worshiping a mountain as God belonged to an older world. The traveling to, I hope I don't offend anybody here, traveling to a special place where God is supposed to be more in Mecca or more in Jerusalem than another place, that belongs to an old world. It belongs to a human race that was not as consciously high as the human race is today. There was a time where humans could not think conceptually. Today, almost every human is almost born with the capability to think conceptually. But there was a time no human beings born could think conceptually. Everything was physical and actual, but to opine on something was not in their grasp. They did not have the heightened consciousness to opine on something, to think of possibilities conceptually, to think of scenarios that don't exist today but might exist. That's thinking conceptually. No human beings thousands of years ago had that capability, but every human being today has the ability to live and think and operate in a world you can't touch, you can't feel, you can't see, that has no physical qualities. You, all of you, spend most of your daily lives in a world that can't be touched, felt, seen, held like gold can be. You live within your thoughts. You live within your feelings. You live within your emotions. Show me where your love resides. I want to go there. You can't. Show me where love
universally begins and where it ends? What's its height, its depth? What are its qualities? You can't, because love does not exist in the physical analog world like gold does. Love is higher than gold. Faith is higher than gold. Decency, fairness, justice, that we were never able to be in touch with as human beings, but today almost everyone can appreciate them. Some of you would die for these things that you can't touch, you can't locate, that have no physical characteristics, that have no depth, that have no space, that have no edge, left to right or height, low to high. You would die for these things, yet they don't live in your physical world. I put Bitcoin with love, with hope, with faith, with peace, with decency, with honesty, with fairness, with liberty. None of these things can be touched, felt, seen, gone to, but they universally exist everywhere you are. No matter where you go, love is. No matter where you go, these things are. No matter what country you go to, no matter what plane you get on, you are your Bitcoin. It is with you always. That is not the case for an analog item. That is not the case for gold. That is not the case for something that has physical qualities that you can point to, that you can go to, that you can physically capture. And this is the problem that gold has in a higher consciousness world today. It is physical. It has physical qualities, which means that it can be grasped. It can be taken. It can be confiscated. It can be controlled. It can be co-opted. It can be politically captured. The very fact that it's physical is its weakness today in a non-physical world. And if you think you live in a physical world, you need to freaking wake up, bro. You do not live in a physical world. Your photos used to be physical in albums. Now they're not. You got tens of thousands of photos in your cell phone that you can't touch, you can't feel, you can't put in your hands really, but they give you just as much joy, just as much delight. Your movies that you used to go to Blockbuster to rent or buy don't exist anymore. They're code. They're immaterial. They're beyond the physical world. The mail used to mail by licking the back of disgusting envelopes and putting stupid, ridiculous stamps on front of it and walking it to a mailbox to mail to your uncle, your aunt, your mother, your son, or your parents when you were away from school. No longer exists today. Your mail has gone to the immaterial world. Your music has gone to the immaterial world. Your movies have gone to the immaterial world. Your relationships have even gone to the immaterial world, people, because I know people that I've never met, never felt, never looked into their eyes, that I have deeper relationships online with than my own family members. That's a digital, ethereal relationship that has nothing to do with the physical realm. So how was gold captured? It was captured because it's physical. You see, in the same way that your movies, your mail, your photos, your books, some of your best relationships have moved away from the physical world into the ethereal world. Gold could never do that. So gold is trapped. It is trapped in a world where it can't expand. Gold can't expand. You see, the ethereal world is an expander. The code-based world, the digital world is an expander. The analog world will, just by virtue of its dimensions, just by virtue of its characteristics, must stay limited. So what I mean by expander, its importance expands, its value expands. Whenever you take something analog and you throw and you put it into the digital realm, the code-based realm, it expands in value and importance. So, for instance, some of you still have physical photo albums, but I bet you Your digital photos dwarf in number than the photos in a physical album. They've expanded in number and in size. Your movies, there are hundreds of millions of more movies available. There are millions of more movies available to you today than they were before they went digital. Before they went digital, the movies that were available to you were very small in number. They expanded exponentially the moment they moved to this code-based world. Mail, the amount of pieces of mail that was mailed every single day when it was physical, pales in comparison to emails sent on an hourly basis today. Move mail from the analog world to the digital world, and the mail expands in size and importance. The code-based world, the digital world, is an expander. It takes the item to an exponentially different level. And gold can't be brought into that world. Now, some might say, well, Bitcoin is the version of gold brought to that. Now, that's arguable. I think Bitcoin is super unique, so it is not. It's easy to explain it as digital gold, but I think it's something entirely different and beyond gold, something that encapsulates all of gold's best qualities, but eliminates all of gold's worst qualities. God, when it was a mountain, very few people could have access to the concept of God. When a community believed that this mountain was God, how many people in the world could visit it? Very few. But when God goes to a non-physical world, it's accessible to every human being, not only existing today, but every human being that will ever be born forever. It expands in power, in size, and importance when it's not physical. If your thoughts, if you were a genius and you produced genius thoughts, but the thoughts that came out of you were physical, so they sat on a table. Every time you sat at this table, thoughts would come out of you and sit on, and you place them on the table. How many people would have access to your genius thoughts? Very few. But when thought is not part of the physical realm, it's accessible universally. So when I talk about the fact that gold's problem is its physicality to gold bugs that think that it's its greatest feature, I know I'm dealing with a philosophical difference that many of them will never get unless they can step back and see it from the vantage point of this conversation I'm having with you. That they're stuck in a world that has passed us by already. They're stuck in the physical, that physical is real. They're stuck in to use a Christianity as an example here. They're stuck in the doubting Thomas world, where doubting Thomas said, I will not believe that the Christ has risen and is still alive until I actually put my finger in his wound and feel the course of blood running through his body. Then and only then will I believe. But how few will ever have the ability in the world to put their finger in the wound and feel the blood coursing, a tiny minuscule amount. But if the Christ is not physical, the Christ becomes accessible to everyone without the need for a physical act. And that's just using a Christian metaphor. That, to use another one, the kingdom is within you. It is not a physical place outside of you that you go to, but the kingdom of God, the kingdom of heaven is within you. This is all speaking to the same thing, that what is not physical is greater. And I hang my hat on this. I hang my hat on what goes to the immaterial is always greater. Netflix became greater than Blockbuster because Blockbuster lived in the physical and Netflix lives in the code based, non physical world. And so, where did gold fail miserably? How did gold fail miserably? Because it remained to be physical. Well, it failed because its physicality allowed it to be captured. It allowed it to be an item that spurred war, destruction, death, and evil. Its very physical nature encouraged countries to invade other countries to steal their gold. Because if it weren't physical, where do you go to steal it? How do you steal God from someone? How do you steal love from someone? It's not physical, there's no location. Because gold had a location, because it had physical qualities, it led to war. It led to some of the greatest atrocities on earth. Because its physical qualities begin to fail mankind. If you were to have $1 billion of gold in your home and you started talking about it, your life would be in danger. I promise you. Now, some people would say, well, Oliver, that's the same with Bitcoin. And that's true to a certain extent, but they wouldn't be able to get your Bitcoin unless you gave it to them. Someone can kill you and get access to your gold. If someone kills you without your seed phrase, without your word, without your honor, I'm going to associate your Bitcoin words with your honor. Your word is your bond. In the beginning was the word. Your word is your value. If you do not give up your word, if you do not break your bond, your word, no one is getting it. It takes you to deny your word to take your Bitcoin. It takes you to give up your value, to go back on your word. It requires you to deny your word, to disrespect your word. Yes, under duress, you might do that, but some won't, which basically means that it's really still decided by you. But gold, on the other hand, if you've got gold under your bed or in your safe or sitting in your kitchen drawer somewhere, and someone says, give me your gold, and you say no, and they kill you, your gold is gone. If they kill a Bitcoiner, they get nothing. To me, that's true ownership. That is something that you can't co-opt, you can't take, you can't confiscate, you can't steal unless I'm irresponsible, unless I deny my word, unless I go back on my word, unless I give it to you, you can't have it. But that's not the case with anything physical. You can say, I don't want you to have it. I shoot you in the head and I have it anyway. I think that we are moving to a world over time, people, in which Bitcoin is going to become so unstealable. The security's getting better, everything, that everyone on earth's going to know you can't steal it. It's impossible. You just can't take it. Impossible. Even if they want to give it to me, they can't give it to me. That's where I think the security is going. So let's take me as an example, guys. I've got my security spread over 5 different countries in over 3 different continents. It's a multi-jurisdictional security protocol with my Bitcoin. If someone captured me and tortured me, I would have to die. Even if I wanted to, I can't. Even if I wanted to save my life, I couldn't save it. There's just zero way that anybody's going to get it. It's impossible. It's impossible for me right now. I believe that security systems are going to become so amazing, and they're rapidly becoming that way, that you don't even have to go through all that nonsense that I go through. And then over time, the world, everyone on earth is going to know this is the one item on earth you just can't steal. So if you want it, the only way you're going to be able to get Bitcoin in the future is that you better please a Bitcoiner. I want Bitcoin. you better you better be so amazing at something that another Bitcoiner wants it. You better come so correct. You better become so true, so spectacular. You better blow the mind of a Bitcoiner. Otherwise, you get none. No one's going to give you their Bitcoin unless it's amazing. This is going to explode the productivity worldwide. I can't steal it, so I have to deliver value for it. I can't take it by force, so I have to do something for the people who have it. If I have it, but I want more, I got to build something great. If I have some, but I want more, I better do something so spectacular that other people with Bitcoin are willing to sacrifice it for what I have done for them. Bitcoin is going to explode global productivity, people. It is going to make every human being better. It's going to make every human being think, instead of how can I get over on this person? How can I angle? How can I take? How can I steal? How can I take advantage of? Instead, how can I deliver? How can I be someone amazing? How can I be something great? How can I produce something mind boggling for this person? This is not just money. This is a revolution or an evolution of the entire global landscape, depending upon how you view it. This is something that goes way beyond what some of you bozos say. But Oliver, Bitcoin is just a speculative asset. Bullshit. You are so low in your understanding of what this is. You're still thinking that bullshit. We're talking about something that has the capability of changing the entire psyche of the entire human race, raising the productivity level of every human being and every organization to the point where no one is producing junk anymore. Because if you produce junk, no Bitcoin is going to give you their Satoshis for junk. That everyone will have to be valuable or you die. And isn't that the way the world should be? Why should unvaluable people be allowed to live off of the ones that produce value? Why? Well, how is that a fair world? Where you produce nothing, you give nothing back to the human clan, but I have to carry you? No, everybody chips in. Everybody produces value, or you disappear. I like that. Now, yes, I believe in the concept that I'm my brother's keeper, but to a fucking point. Do you understand what I'm saying? To a fucking point. Listen, everything taken to a certain level starts to become stupid. I am my brother's keeper, but let's not take it too far. I'm not into whooping people's ass, but no one's above an ass whipping. You can take things so far, and I'm coming to you with that ass whipping. Let's be kind, let's be generous, but to a fucking point. Do you understand? Let's not be stupid. Let's not be ridiculous. Hold your weight. I will carry you for a few blocks, but I'm not carrying you for life, bro. And Bitcoin's going to bring that world to people. Bitcoin's going to eliminate war. How do you go to war for the gold in some other country's chest? How do you go to war for that if it's not physical? How? How do you steal the word hope from me? HOPE, 4 letters. How do you take, if hope is the word that is my Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is just your word, right? It's not physical. It doesn't reside anywhere. It's your word. It's literally your word. For the first time in the human experience, the great saying, your word is your bond, is true. For the first time, because of Bitcoin, your word is your bond. Your word is your value. Your word is your intrinsic essence. And no one can steal your word. No one can take your word. If hope is the word that represents your Bitcoin. How do I take the word hope from you? From this day forward, John, you, John, will cease to have the word hope. You will cease to be able to think it. You will cease to be able to spell it. You will cease to be able to know it. You will cease to be able to remember it. I'm taking the word hope from you, which is your Bitcoin. Impossible. You can give it, but they can't take your word. That's the only thing that can't be taken from you. Your life can be taken from you. Your human life can be taken from you, but your word can't be taken from you ever. Your body can be taken from you, but your word cannot be taken from you. This is how special Bitcoin is because it's your word. It's unstealable, uncorruptible, untakeable, undegradable. Now, as I said, you can give it, but that's on you. It still requires you to give it. It's the only thing in the human existence today that exists that way. It's the only thing that's utterly and totally yours, your word. Countries can't ban it. We're going to ban the letter B from the alphabet because B stands for Bitcoin, and we don't want any of our citizens having or being exposed to Bitcoin. So we're eliminating the letter B from our alphabet. Stupid. Oh, better yet. In fact, we're going to go the next step. We're going to take the word Bitcoin out of the nomenclature. No one can, from this day forward, we pass an edict. There's an executive order that no one shall ever think the word Bitcoin forever from this day forward. Dude, that makes you think Bitcoin more. No one right now, do not, I command you from the mouth of Oliver Velez, do not think of a pink elephant. Do not, don't do it. What do? You think more of a pink elephant. This is the power of Bitcoin. You can't have Bitcoin, people think more about it, about having it. You pass a law against Bitcoin, Bitcoin's adoption explodes. This is an actual study. Every country who's attempted to ban Bitcoin, adoption has gone up 400% in every single country. That is an actual study. You can't do it. You can't ban words. You can't ban code. You can't ban the ethereal. You can ban gold, though. I permit you from getting on a plane with more than $10,000 of gold. So if you've got $1 million and you want to leave the country, you're only leaving the country with 10,000 or less. And they may not let you get off with the 10 either. Now, you got $1 billion in Bitcoin in your head. It's made of a word. So I'm going to give you an example. Not that you should use words like this, but I'll give you an example. It's made of hope, faith, peace, honesty, goodwill, decency, cleanliness, 12 words. These 12 words are your Bitcoin. You get on a plane. You get searched. Your bags get opened. You pass. You go on the plane. You go to the next country. They open your bags, check everything, check your pockets. They even open up your freaking phone. Open up this phone. Put the phone to your eyes. They open up the phone. All right, nothing. All right, you can go. What are you here for? I'm here on vacation. I'm here to move. I'm here to live, whatever it is. $1 billion right through. You can't tell me that something that is with you at all times that no one can touch or feel or see or hold in their hands, confiscate, debase, steal, is not more superior than something that the majority of it is owned by the countries and their central banks. You can't tell me that something that is in your head and in your heart that is with you always is not more superior than something that is largely sitting in two locations, London and New York. You can't tell me that something that no one can ever steal from you is not superior than something that you won't even dare store in your own home, that you have to trust it to another man. You have to give your value to another man. You have $1 billion in gold. You have to give that to another man. Hold it for me, please. I'll pay you. I'll pay you to store it for me because I can't hold my own value. I can't hold my own wealth. I can't do it. I need you to do it for me. Are you fucking kidding me? History has proven that possession is 9/10 of the law, people. He who possesses the gold, I don't care what contract you fucking signed, I don't care what agreement you made, I don't care how many times you have shook hands on it. If someone else is holding your shit, it's theirs. That is the law across the land. That's the law across any land. That's the law in almost every country. He who holds the gold owns the gold. He who holds the gold owns the gold, and he who owns the most gold makes the rules. And if you, as a gold bug, need to give the holding of your gold over to someone else, it's not fucking yours. That is possession, 9/10 of the law. And whenever you really want it, if it's valuable enough, if what you've given to another man is valuable enough, whenever you want it, I promise you there's going to be an excuse not to give it back to you. I promise you there's going to be a sudden problem. I promise you they're going to either have lost it, denied you access when you need it, claim some bullshit why you don't deserve it. I promise you this. This is thousands upon thousands upon thousands of years of history. Give your value to another man, and he's going to take it. And Bitcoin fixes this. You don't ever have to give your value to another man again. You don't ever have to take your hat off your head in some meek position and say, will you hold this for me, Massa? Will you hold this for me, Mr. Sharecropper? Because I'm not responsible enough for holding it for me. So you hold it and keep it safe for me, Mr. Sharecropper, Master, Massa, Lord, King, Government. Keep it safe for me, government, because I'm so lowly and weak and incompetent, and I'm just so dumb with it that I don't have the capacity to custody it and hold it and keep it safe. So you do it for me. It's the greatest scam ever pulled on the human race. Go work your ass off. Give your life for value and don't hold it. Give it to me. I will keep it safe. That's a slave. That is not someone free. Go work your ass off for value and give it to me? That's what you call free? Put your whole life into gold, but give the gold to me and pay me to keep it? That's what you call free, gold bugs? You can't even get it when you want. You can't travel with it if you want to. You can't move. You have to ask permission. And then if they give it to you and you want to sell it, you're going to take a 30% haircut. I've been there before. I know what it is to try to get out of physical gold. You're going to get raped without Vaseline, by the way, without lubricant. You're going to take a 20-30% haircut if you need it now. The very fact that you take a bunch of gold to a dealer, you might as well hold up a white flag. You might as well hold up a sign, rate me right now because I need it. That business is one of the most cutthroat businesses on the planet, the gold market and the silver market. Because just by virtue of you showing up as a seller, they know they've got your ass. You think you're going to get spot? Ha! You must live in Disney World. But you'll get spot for Bitcoin every day of the week and twice on Sunday, every single second, every single moment of your existence. You will get spot for Bitcoin. It's the most liquid market in the world. It is open 24 hours a day, available to you every moment, every second, every millisecond of your life. It is never sick at sea, and it will never let you down. Tick tock, next block. Do you understand what I'm talking about, people? Are you picking up what I'm laying down? Or is this beyond some of you gold blockheads' heads? Is this still beyond some of you? It's freaking powerful when you understand it the right way. I had that epiphany. As a gold bug from the mid 1990s, I was accumulating gold at $250, $300 an ounce. I required every single employee to walk or I had 85 employees in the 1990s, and every single one of them had to have gold coins in their pocket. And I would test them sometimes. They would come into my office for a meeting and show me a gold coin. That's how ridiculous I was. That's how much of a gold bug I was. It was an employment responsibility. You had to have at least one on you at all times, a solid gold piece. But I had that epiphany, guys, that epiphany that money has finally gone the way God has. It has gone the way of the ethereal, the sublime, that it has risen above all that is coarse for the first time in humanity. Money has gone to the spiritual realm, in a sense. That incorruptible realm, that untouchable realm, that no matter what havoc human beings promote amongst themselves, this realm is untouched, unfeathered, incorruptible, unstainable. Money has gone there. It was the last thing to go there via Bitcoin. And while I understand that many can't even fathom or have not even fathomed, nor can many fathom what I'm saying right now, but I'm almost as certain as night follows day, people, that over time, more and more people will. It's an inevitable. It's an inevitability to me. It's not a question of if, it's a question of when. And I think when is faster than you think. Why do I think it is so? Because that's the historical norm. Every new thing is adopted faster and more violently than the previous thing. Everything. Things are not adopted by human beings slower. They're adopted faster and faster and faster because we live in a faster and faster world. So when people say, Oliver, how fast do you think this is going to happen? Faster than anything else has happened. Because every new thing is adopted faster than the last thing. Every single thing. And what's more, everything is adopted forever. Adoption never stops. Fire is 6,000 years old. It is still being adopted today. We're still finding new and innovative ways to utilize fire in our lives. It's had a huge impact on human life, fire. Electricity, 600 years old. At least discovered and studied, 600 years old. Started to put into mass in the 1800s. We're still adopting freaking electricity. It's still in a rapid adoption phase. Commercial air flight was instituted in 1901, 1903, depending upon whose history you believe. We're still adopting commercial air flight. There's only, to this very, very day, only one person in every 4 people on Earth have been on a plane. Do you understand the future growth that's still available to commercial air flight, where only one person in 4 have ever been on a plane? The future is fucking incredibly bright. It's still being adopted, and it's a 125-year-old industry. Cars are still being adopted. TVs are still being adopted. Computers are still being adopted. Cell phones are still being adopted. The internet's still being adopted. And Bitcoin is still going to be adopted year after year, decade after decade, hundreds and hundreds of years, if not thousands of years, just like gold. And in fact, it's going to outstrip the adoption of gold because it's better and it's superior. Get with the program, people. And I'm going to end my talk with you today. Maybe I'll take a question or two, but I'm going to end my talk to you today with this. It's a message that I am doing my best to really try to spread as much as I can. Price, people. Price has been used against the masses for time immemorial to keep them out of some of the greatest life-changing opportunities this planet has ever made available. And I don't want you falling for it. Price has been used as a tool, as a weapon against you. When they want to distract you away from something, they create another thing with a very cheap price to distract you. Don't get fooled. When they want to shake you from something that they know is valuable and generationally important to you, they try to crack the price to scare you, to cause you to exit while they gobble up your cells. Don't let them do it. Don't let them use price against you. Ownership trumps price. Say it. Say it now. Say it, people. Type it for me. I want to see it before I leave this space. Say it. Ownership is more important than price. Ownership trumps price. Price will not fool me. They're going to try to take the price down and take you out of ownership. They're going to try to take the price up and outprice you out of ownership. Do not let them fool you the way they have been fooling the masses for generation after generation after generation. The best communities are not available to you because they made sure they outprice you. The best homes in the world you have no access to because they use price to keep you away from it. Do you understand? And when they want something, they often crash the price. In the real estate world, that's called gentrification, where they purposely promote drug use. They purposely allow crime to fester in an area. They pay the police not to police for a while, to drive out all the decent people in an area, to drive down the real estate prices, and to cause people to leave in droves. That's the blueprint for gentrification. Let's let the drugs proliferate. Let's let the bums, that's what's happening in California right now. Let the homeless proliferate. Let crime run rampant. Let's let crime up to a certain amount be legal. Let's drive people away. Let's bring the prices down and let's scoop it up in all one fell swoop and rebuild it again from the ground up and make a fucking fortune. That is the game that I see being played out in many places throughout the world today, and it's also going to be played out on you with Bitcoin. Don't fall for it. I want you to work on becoming price agnostic. I want you to ignore the price. I want, if the price is down, you're happy. You just get more freedom because Bitcoin is freedom. If the price is up, I want you to relax with a scotch and a cigar, well, whatever it is that you do for joy, and enjoy that too. You enjoy both. You laugh in their faces no matter what price, they try to manipulate and show you, you know, in your heart and soul that my ownership is mine and ownership trumps whatever price you want to put in front of my face. No matter what price you want to show me, no matter where you want to say my value is worth, I'm not buying it. I'm going to bank on me owning it as being the most optimal value of all. Ownership trumps price. Ignore price and just work on more ownership, more ownership, more ownership. And I promise you, I assure you that in 4 or 5 years from now, you will not only thank me, but you will be asking me for photos to put on your living room walls. For every time your family dines together, you make them look at my photo on the wall. I promise you, focus on ownership and ignore price. And not too far from now, 2028, 2032, mid 30s, 2030s, you will build a family legacy where your children's 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 children will remember your name. Now go to work. Go to work, people. Go to work. Ownership. Accumulate, accumulate, and accumulate again. And I'll talk to you later. Ciao for now. Boo!